Hi, my name is Ben Turner and welcome to Get Started in Lightroom 2, a fantastic new series in Practical Photography magazine. Okay, in this first part, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a crash course in this fantastic bit of software. If you've never used it before, go onto the website and download the trial version. It is fantastic. It's a really photographer-friendly bit of kit that will allow you to download your images, organise them, then also enhance them, works fantastically with RAW, and also create slideshows, print them, and also publish them to the web. It does everything, and it's really, really easy to use. Okay, so first things first, you'll see there's no pictures in Lightroom. This is the beginning workspace. So all we need to do is bring in our first lot of pictures. You can't browse them, you have to bring them into the catalogue, but that has its big advantages, as you'll find as we go through the course. So I'm just going to click Import now. Okay, first of all we've got to choose where we're going to download the pictures from. If you've got the pictures on your hard drive already, click this Choose Files option. If you've got them on your memory card and want to download them to your hard drive at the same time as importing them, which is what we're going to do now, click here. I've already got the memory card plugged in, so click on that. Now, with the Show Preview button ticked down here, you can see all the pictures on the card. It's just a selection. I didn't download the whole session, otherwise that would have taken forever. Okay, so coming over here, File Handling. What we want here is copy photos to new location and add to catalogue. What that means is it's going to drag the pictures off of the memory card and put them onto our hard drive where we tell it to. Now, if you've got the pictures on your hard drive already, make sure that says add to catalogue without moving. Okay, copy to. This is where the pictures will be copied from the memory card to. Just going to click on here. Okay, just going to select my pictures. I'm going to create a new folder in here. Make new folder. Just going to call that Yorkshire. Okay, make sure that's selected and click OK. Organise. Now this is where all the individual files are going to be placed within that Yorkshire folder. I want those all in the same place. So I'm going to select into one and then I'm going to click Import. Now as it's bringing those in, you'll see the thumbnails come in the import. I'm just going to talk a little about how this works. At the top here we've got 5 options. Now this takes us through the 5 different areas within Lightroom 2. Now the library, that's used for browsing your images, rating them and all that sort of thing. Develop, that's used for enhancing the pictures. Slideshow, well, that's pretty straightforward. Print, that's also straightforward. And web, that's with online web galleries. Okay, so I'm just going to select all of those images, Control A, and I'm just going to click 0 just to set the star rating to 0 there. Okay, as you can see down here in the catalogue, we've got a few options. We've got all photographs, that will show all of the photographs we've imported. Obviously that's only the 19 we've just done. Previous import, now that just shows the shots that we just imported from the memory card, but the best way of working is just to make sure you've got the correct folder of images selected. So if you scroll down here now, you'll see under folders we've got our hard drive, and within that we've got our one folder of images we've just imported. So I'm just going to click on that. You won't see the selection of images change, but it's a much more sensible way of working. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now quickly before we go any further is how we can rate the files. If we like this shot, yeah, that's pretty good. I think I want to give that a 3-star rating, 3 out of 5. Just going to hit 3 on the keyboard. And as you'll see underneath it, we've now got a 3-star rating. Now I can just use the cursor keys on the keyboard just to jump across to the next one. How much do I like that? Yeah, that's alright. I'll give that a 3 as well. And you can just go through very quickly and just rate your images. Just doing that very quickly for you now. And just go through and rate your shots. Now once you've found your best ones, what you do is just come down here to the filter, click on that, and then click on Rated. And now what we can do is just adjust this star rating system here. Just click and drag on here, and you'll see as we go up, it filters out all of the images that come below the star rating we got selected. So here we filtered out all the unrated images, all the images that were less than 1-star rating. Now, if we bring it up to here, all of the pictures that have got a 3-star rating or higher. So we can use that to find the pictures that we want to work on. I'm just going to click and drag on here just to take all of that off so we can see all of the images. So that's pretty much all we need to know about the library for now. This is where you bring all your images in and where you can just work with them and select them. You'll also see below we've got this film strip. I can just scroll on here, and this is consistent throughout all of the modules in Lightroom. So if I just select this one here, I've got one raw file here that I want to do some work on. So I'm just going to go into the Develop module next. I'm just going to click on that, and this is where we can do our image enhancements. Let's give that a second just to open up. Okay, so here we are in the Develop module, and as you can see we've got our selected raw file. You can tell it's a raw file from just looking down here where it says CR2. That means it's not a JPEG or a TIFF, it's a Canon RAW file. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to make this flat RAW file really, really punchy. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to crop it. I'm just going to get rid of some of this vignetting we've got at the corners, caused by a filter, and also just straighten up this horizon a little. So the crop tool is just found here, so we click once on that, and as you'll see, we've got a nice grid across the image, and also these little corner handles here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click outside the image. You see we've got a little two-ended arrow there. Just click and drag on that, and we can just rotate this image anywhere we want. I need to slight tweak this, so that's looking pretty straight to me. Just lining it up with one of these guides. Then what I'm going to do is just drag in these corners just to get rid of some of that vignetting, and that's a bit better now. Okay, so when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to double click it just to apply. For the basic adjustments which we're going to look at today, all we need are these options here found right at the top under the basic heading. This will allow us to do pretty much everything that we really need to do. Okay, so at the top here we've got white balance, and we've got some preset options here we can select from if we want, just like we get on the back of the camera. Because we're working with RAW, this will work just as well as changing the settings on the camera. But I'm just going to do it manually. What I'm going to do is going to bring this up, maybe to around about there. Just adds a little extra warmth to the image. Also, there's a slight magenta colour cast to this image. What I'm going to do is going to bring the tint. I can add more green. I can add more magenta. What I'm going to do is just going to bring that down just around about -4, something like that. Okay, so we're coming down. We've got exposure. Now that just changes the brightness of the image. I'll just show you how that works. Just bring this up. It's much brighter. Bring it down, it's much darker. And I think that with this one we just want a little tiny bit more. Just a little tiny bit more brightness. There we go. It's a bit more vibrant now, and it's bringing out some of this foreground detail. Right, recovery. We don't need any on this image. What recovery does is it just pulls back some of the highlights. You see there, it's just recovering some of those highlights. But we don't really need that in this one, so I'm going to leave that at 0. Now fill light, let me just bring that one up. Yeah, we could do with a little bit of that. That's just bringing out some of that foreground detail, and also lightening the some of the vignette there, so I'm just going to bring that up a little way. You have to be very careful with this one, that can create some funny artifacts. Okay, I want this area here just to be silhouetted, so what I'm going to do is going to adjust the blacks now. What this does is just makes the very darkest tones even darker. There we go, that's nice, and it just adds some real contrast to this. So let's carry on down these options. There's only a few more to go. Brightness, well, let's adjust the kind of the mid-tone range of the image. It works pretty much like the exposure, but it's subtly different. So I'm just going to bring that down a tiny amount. There we go, just to make the image a little bit more rich. Contrast, well, we all know what contrast does. I'm just going to whack that up. I like a bit of contrast in my images. It was looking a bit flat to begin with. It's taking shape now. Okay, clarity. Now this one just enhances the local contrast, and it kind of brings out the texture in the image. It actually works quite nicely with this image, as you'll see, because it brings out the texture in the sand here, and also in the sky. All the clouds come out. I don't need it quite as much as that. I'm just going to drop that back to around about 60. There we go, 62 will be fine. Finally, we got 2 saturation sliders down the bottom here, and they work ever so subtly differently. Okay, we'll start with saturation, as that's the most straightforward to understand. We just bring that up, look, and we can add more colour to our image. I'm just going to drop that back a little bit, as we don't need quite so much as that. Here we go, we've got lovely oranges coming through now. Now, vibrance can be used for landscapes and doesn't tend to affect the skin tones quite so much. But what it does do is really bring out the blues. So I'm actually going to use some vibrance as well. I'm just going to bring that up about the same amount. There we go, that's really brought out some of those blues in the sky. We don't need quite so much as that. Fantastic. And I'm going to click this YY button here, look, and we can see a before and after of our image. And look how much better that is. That's tons better. So we've got our image ready, and now I want to make a print of it. Well, we've got to change the module again. We're going to go from develop across to print. You'll notice that I haven't had to make a JPEG of this image and bring it back in again or do any processing. I'm actually working straight on the RAW file now, which it just takes an extra few steps out of the process. Our image is now on an A4 sheet. Now, if your image isn't looking quite like it is here, what you need to do is come to this Lightroom templates option over here, scroll down and click maximum size. There's loads of different types of layouts here, but we want maximum size. It's going to make a big print on an A4 sheet. Okay, next thing to do is go to page setup, make sure you've got the right printer selected, make sure you've got the right paper size selected, and also click properties and go through your options in your print driver. Now this bit will depend on what printer you've got, but obviously you need to change things like the print quality, and also need to change the paper type. We're going to want to use a premium glossy in this case, and just make sure you've got all of these settings as you like them. So I'm just going to click OK here, just to accept that, OK again, and we're pretty much ready to go. All we need to do now is make sure you scroll to the bottom of this panel here. We've got a few extra options to look at. Print sharpening, now set this to standard, and also media type glossy. We're printing on glossy paper, so make sure that's set to there. It'll just give the picture a little boost and make it a little bit sharper in the final print. Okay, and the last thing to do is just click this print one button and it will run out of print. Well, thanks for watching. It's just been a very, very brief tour today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Over the coming months, we're going to look at the library developed slideshow print and web modules in a lot more detail, so you're going to get even more out of this great bit of software. See you soon.